Right, friends, so let us take a closer look and describe our cochlea. Then we wrap it up with our ear. Right, you remember that the cochlea is part of the bony labyrinth and it houses our cochlear duct, which is part of the membranous labyrinth, is it? Good. Now, our cochlea does not only house the cochlear duct, but it also has other compartments, which we call the scales, alright? So what we are now saying is that in the cochlea, we are finding the cochlear duct, but not only the cochlear duct, also other compartments, which we call the scales, alright? Good. Now, all these compartments, there are about 3, alright? So these 3 compartments, which one we are calling the scales, they go or they make turns of coiling, alright? Which is about 2, 3, 4 turns within the cochlea. And the cochlear duct is just but one of these compartments. Okay? So these are the compartments which I am describing for you. This is the histological slide of it. Remember, this is our spiral ganglion, which is in the modulus, right? Good. And then we are having the bony part of our bony labyrinth. Then this bony labyrinth is having the 3 compartments which I was telling you, where we are having the cochlear duct as one of those compartments, and then these other 2 compartments. So let us try to describe more and go deeper about these compartments. Okay, so these compartments, they have a prefix or a starting name, which is scala. All right, so we have the scala media. We also have the scala vestibuli, which is actually the largest of all these scalas. Then the third compartment, which we call the scala and tympani. All right, so this is what we were seeing in that diagram. Okay, see these 3 compartments here, where we're seeing the scala media. The scala media is actually that cochlear duct. That cochlear duct, the entire cochlear duct, is what makes up the scala media. Then we have what we said, the scala vestibuli. This is the scala vestibuli. Then we have what? The scala tympani. Okay, so let's describe them in details now. So our scala media, okay, the scala media, which is actually the cochlear duct, is it? Good. It contains endoleaf. Exactly, it has to contain endoleaf because why? It is part of the membranous labyrinth. Remember that all the parts of the membranous labyrinth, they do what? They contain endoleaf. So it has to contain endoleaf, no matter what. Alright? And not only does it contain endoleaf, our scala media, which is the cochlear duct, it has special area. It has a special area in its wall. So in its wall, there's a certain region, special area, which is known as the strata vascularis. The strata vascularis, from which now the endoleaf which is in it is produced from. So that endoleaf, which is actually in the structures that make up the membranous labyrinth, is actually produced from the strata vascularis, which is a special region in the wall of our scala media, the wall of the cochlear duct. Okay, now this strata vascularis, friends, is just but an unusual group of endothelial cells with the capillaries that are from the perineurium of the bony labyrinth. So it's just the combination, all right, of endothelial cells together with the capillaries that are from the perineurium of the bony labyrinth. All right. It also has not only these structures described so far, but it also has an organ that we call the spiral organ or the spiral organ of Corti. So see, these are the things that I'm now trying to describe for you, friends. On this structure, on this histological structure. See, we are talking of this scala media. and we say the scala media is having what? Is having endoleaf. Alright, this is the whole of our cochlear duct, the scala media, and in the whole it has got what? The strata vascularis from which endoleaf is produced from. Then we also, other structure that is found in the cochlear duct is what we said as the spiral organ of Corti, and this is the very organ. So let us hear about this larger scala known as the scala vestibuli. Now, beloved colleagues in the medical field, the scala vestibuli, it contains perileaf, and it is separated from the scala media by the very thin vestibular membrane. Alright? So a membrane that separates our scala vestibuli from the scala media is known as what? The vestibular membrane. The vestibular membrane is also known as what? The Reissner membrane. Okay? What lines this Reissner membrane? It is lined on each side by simple squamous epithelium. Okay, on both sides. So on each side it is lined by what? By the simple squamous epithelium. And there are extensive tight junctions between cells of this membrane which block ion diffusion between perileaf and endoleaf. Good. See, beloved, on our histological slide, we are describing the scala vestibuli, and we say this is the largest of all these scalas, right? Now we are saying that this scala vestibuli contains what? It contains perileaf, and it is separated from the scala media. See, this is the separation, the demarcation part, and this is what? The Reissner membrane, or the vestibular what? Membrane, which is lined by what kind of epithelium? The simple squamous epithelium. Good. And between the cells making up this membrane, there are so intensive tight junctions. Why? So that there should be no movement of ions from the endolymph that is in the scala media and from the perileaf that is in the scala vestibuli. Exactly. Alright, so let us go now and look at our scala and tympani. Okay? The scala and tympani also contains perileaf, and it is separated from the scala media by the... Now, what separates this scala tympani from our scala media is something that we call as the fibroelastic basilar membrane. The scala and tympani and the scala vestibuli, actually, they communicate with each other at the apex of the cochlea via who? Via a small opening that is called the helicotrema. Thus, these two spaces with perileaf are actually one long tube. The scala vestibuli begins near the vestibular, the vestibular oval window, and the scala tympani ends at the round window. So what I'm now telling you, friends, it is on this diagram. Alright, we were describing our scala tympani. Alright, the scala tympani, we said it is separated from our scala media by who? By the fibroelastic what? A fibroelastic membrane, is it? By a fibroelastic membrane. And then we are saying that the scala media, this is the scala media, friends. This entire down, this is the scala media. Our scala vestibuli is here, okay? Yes. And the scala vestibuli is beginning from the oval window. Remember the oval window at which our steps bone is attached, is it? Good. That is the oval window from which now our scala vestibuli is beginning from. This is the scala vestibuli to the apex. Are you seeing? Good. Then our scala tympani, we are saying it is ending. All right, it is ending at the round window here. This is where it is ending from. Now, these two tubes, these two scalas, all right, they are meeting with each other from the what? From the apex of our cochlea. And where they are meeting, there are walls. Those walls are known as the helicotrema. And as a result, because these two tubes are communicating with each other, it is now actually with no uncertain terms seen that the scala vestibuli and the scala tympani are but a single tube, okay? It's a one tube. So this is what we were talking about. So those are the parts, okay, in the cochlea, the compartments in the cochlea. Okay, now it will be very important if we discuss in details what makes really the spiral organ of Corti. So join me in the next episode when we now describe our spiral organ of Corti.